Hello everyone and welcome to the Game Day Hour. I'm your host Aaron and the NFL season is finally upon us. I am recording this on a Sunday. 4 days from now on Thursday night will be the opening to the NFL season for 2023. In this episode, we are finally beginning our NFL week by week prediction and fantasy lineup. Essentially what happens in this video is similar to college football. I predict NFL games, except I do every single game throughout the week. And for college, I'll do either a few in between 6 to 12 games potentially. But I'm going to be doing all 16 games from Thursday night to Monday night. And I'm also going to be showing you the fantasy lineup I'm going to be running and the team I'm going against in fantasy. And that will be for the end of the video. First, we're going to be looking at the predictions. So I hope you guys are very excited. And if you enjoy this content, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Also, my channel passed over 1,000 total views. So thank you for that. Let's get started. Since we haven't done a prediction for NFL weeks just yet, there's no record to look upon, but know that after this episode, every NFL episode will have a record for how many games I get right and get wrong. So just keep in mind of that. But so far we're at 0-0. Finally, let's get to the predictions. The Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs host the Detroit Lions Thursday night. Now, the Chiefs are missing Chris Jones. That's a vital piece to their defense. That was a top 10 player in the NFL last year. And I have to say, that's going to hurt the Chiefs defense a lot, but I don't think it's going to deter much. I believe that Mahomes and Kelsey will still get it done against Detroit. And don't think that this is going to be an omen for Detroit's season. I still say that Detroit's going to make the playoffs, but this is a rough start at the Super Bowl champions in their house. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this. Now we get on to Sunday. They were one game from missing the Super Bowl, and now they open up the season in Pittsburgh. It's between the 49ers and the Steelers. The 49ers defense is one of the best in all of football, and now that Brock Purdy is the set starter, they have their offensive scheme ready. He's only lost once as a starter, just remember that. Now, Pittsburgh and that offense is going through their second year together, and that defense is still one of the top defenses in the league. But I have to say, I don't see them beating the 49ers. I believe that San Francisco will win. I don't know if it's going to be convincingly. I think Pittsburgh's going to put up a fight. But the Niners, in my opinion, have the better team. The 49ers will start the year off 1-0. CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans face Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have gotten so many upgrades in the form of Odell Beckham Jr. and Zay Flowers. I mean, their receiving core has finally got the upgrade needed for Lamar Jackson, and because Houston's rookie is going to struggle, I believe he will struggle. If he has an outstanding game, then I might think completely differently about CJ Stroud, but I think that Baltimore has this one in the bag. I believe the Ravens win convincingly. Unlike the Niners, who don't win so convincingly, I believe that the Ravens blow out the Texans. So far, one of the closer games, the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals were a game away from the Super Bowl, and the Browns are finally going to have a full year under Deshaun Watson. I believe that this game is going to be close, but because of that injury to Joe Burrow, even though their team thematically is far better than Cleveland, I'm going to say that the Browns get the win in week 1. I just think that the Bengals have a tendency to start off slow, but then midway towards the end of the season really start to kick it into high gear. But I don't see a great likelihood of them winning, especially since Joe Burrow is partially injured. So I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to win this game and start off 1-0. That doesn't happen very often, by the way. New life for Tampa Bay without Tom Brady. They're going to be led by Baker Mayfield at Minnesota, who houses one of the best offenses in the league, minus the fact that Dalvin Cook moved on to New York. I think that the Buccaneers are going to play well. but I don't see them winning this game. I have the Minnesota Vikings winning under a great offensive scheme. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. I believe that Jordan Addison will show up and be amazing in this game. I see Minnesota winning double-digit wins. How about that? I thought the Titans were dead in the water until they got DeAndre Hopkins, and now there's new life in Tennessee. But they start off against the New Orleans Saints, who got themselves a new great quarterback, Derek Carr. I think this game is going to be extremely close, but I think that the Saints get that good nod being at home, having the better quarterback and a very young and amazing offense. Even without Alvin Kamara, I still think New Orleans will win. I think they have a better defense than Tennessee, and they'll hold Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins to minimal yards and touchdowns. I believe that the Saints win. It'll be a close game, but Saints. The battle of young quarterbacks within divisions, Bryce Young and Desmond Ridder, the Panthers and the Falcons. So this is going to be tough. Bryce Young did not look like he played very well in the playoffs, so I'm a little concerned about the Panthers. I didn't have the Panthers being at a great record, but it was not that great to see Bryce Young play the way that he did. Because of that, I say that the Falcons get a very close, low-scoring win, but hey, a win's a win. The Falcons will start off the year 1-0. Calvin Ridley makes his return to the NFL with the Jaguars at Indianapolis, who is starting Anthony Richardson, so the Richardson era begins in Indy. He is going to play great against Jacksonville. I think he's going to show people why he was a top 5 quarterback. But Jacksonville has a much more complete team. I believe that the Jaguars do win this game in a semi-shootout, by the way. I think that Jacksonville has everything that they need and that they're going to cruise. So, Jaguars start 1-0. The Cardinals and the Commanders. So the Cardinals and what's going on in the locker room, what's going on with the team, it does not look pretty. But Washington finally has new life under new ownership, and a new quarterback is in town. I believe that because of what I'm seeing with the Cardinals, it's not that great. I don't think that the Cardinals are going to play very good at all throughout the year, and I actually don't have the Cardinals winning for a little bit. I believe that Washington gets the Week 1 win against Arizona. Now, moving into the afternoon games, we have the Raiders at the Broncos. And the Raiders, they made their team a little bit better with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he's a very consistent winning quarterback. And Denver is under new head coach Sean Payton. This is going to be a tough one to take a look at. But I think under Sean Payton, you're going to see a fresh new look out of Russell Wilson in the early bits of this game. I believe that the Broncos will beat the Raiders in just a very tough, low-scoring affair. I do think that the Broncos defense is going to be the main reason why they win, and that offense will finally make some better decision-making. The Dolphins at the Chargers. These two teams are so similar on paper. I mean, the running back situation is a little different, and quarterback-wise, you can say there's some separation there, but two of some of the best receiving cores, and defense-wise, they're both pretty solid. I believe that in this game, the Chargers will beat the Dolphins. It will be very close, but a pretty high-scoring affair. So I would look at it more like the Chargers have a better defense because Miami is missing Jalen Ramsey, so that the Chargers receiving core is going to do a lot more cooking than normal. That's why I have LA winning. On an afternoon when Tom Brady makes his return to Foxborough, the Patriots are hosting the Eagles, who were so close to getting their second Super Bowl championship in the last 10 years. But the Eagles, their offense looks great. Their defense looks great. I don't have a lot of faith in the Patriots and their entire team. I think Mac Jones is going to be under a lot of scrutiny this year. But I think that Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and that entire Eagles team is just going to roll. I have Philadelphia winning this one with a very convincing score. I think it's going to be a semi-blowout. The Packers begin the Jordan Love era versus the Bears, who made some significant offseason moves that I am always a big fan of. I think that in this game, the Packers are going to be hit with reality a little sooner than they expect. I think that Jordan Love is going to play well, but I don't see him getting the win against the Bears. The Bears overall have a better roster, in my opinion. I think Chicago is going to win this game. It will be a mid-scoring game, like into the 20s, but I do think that the Bears start off the year 1-0. The Rams versus the Seahawks. At first, I wanted to say the Rams, but now the Cooper Kupp situation is starting to fester a little bit injury-wise. And Seattle, I mean, their team is looking great. I think that the Seahawks are going to win this game. It's going to be close, and it's going to be pretty low scoring, because I do think both the defenses will hold for a significant amount of time. But at the end of the day, I think Seattle starts off 1-0. And prime time Sunday Night Football, a rivalry between the Cowboys and the Giants. These two teams throughout the offseason have been bickering at one another, mostly the fans. And yes, being on Twitter and being a Cowboys fan, I've been seeing a lot of the discussion. Is Daniel Jones better than Dak Prescott? Is Dak Prescott better than Daniel Jones? All those comments, and they're all very confusing to me. Both teams look really well. But here's a fact. Since 2016, a Dak Prescott-led Dallas Cowboys team has not lost to the New York Giants. Does that change? No. I think the Giants have a pretty good roster, but not one that's going to beat the Cowboys or the Eagles. I think I said that before in the record prediction video. I just don't see it happening. It could, but I mean, when you struggle versus Cooper Rush and then have to claw your way back on the Thanksgiving game against Dak Prescott, you can tell why a lot of people will pick the Cowboys in this one, including myself. I think Dallas starts off 1-0 versus the G-Men. And what could be potentially the best game is on Monday night between the Bills and the Jets. Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers begins his Jets legacy. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm jumping on this Aaron Rodgers bandwagon, and I'm a big Bills supporter in the sense that I think their offense is amazing. I'm a big fan of their team as far as their roster goes. But let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers can do a lot of great things, and I think that he's going to find himself in a pretty nice situation to start off the year. I think that in a high-scoring affair, the Jets get it done and start the year off 1-0. Aaron Rodgers' run with the Jets begins off on a high note. Now we shift over to fantasy, my lineup versus my opponent's lineup, and this is a game I'm looking forward to because my opponent is somebody who I have very high respect for in fantasy drafting. So let's see the teams. My team is starting with 128 projected fantasy points. And I'm starting Justin Herbert, Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, Travis Etienne, Antonio Gibson, Devonta Smith, Justin Tucker, and the San Francisco 49ers defense. Again, our league does not require that you have a tight end as long as you have 5 receiver-S positions. And also, it's mixed between running back, wide receiver, and tight end. So you could have 4 running backs, 1 wide receiver, or all 5 wide receivers, or whatever you want. My opponent has Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Brandon McManus, and the New Orleans Saints defense. That's a pretty solid lineup, but that lineup is projected 105 points in my league. So 128, 105, I mean, I feel good about my chances, but last season I had those type of points per game projections and it didn't really fester to anything. So hope that this is a new good year. I'm looking forward to seeing Herbert, Chubb, Lamb, seeing them go at it, and the 49ers defense. I really hope that if it's going to be a close game, that it be a low scoring affair. It helps my defense out. But yeah, that is the fantasy matchup, so I'll let you know how that goes. And that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you for the support on the channel. Of course, 1,000 views and close to 20 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, but you've been watching my videos for a while, please subscribe so that you can see when new videos go out, and you can do that by also hitting the bell notification button. Go follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or X. I need to get out of that habit. Instagram and TikTok. So thank you guys so much for the support, of course, and the support I'm going to get on these videos and the college football videos. I mean, that college football video that came out for week 1 had 20 views almost instantly, which is great. So thank you for so much support there, and yeah, that'll do it for me. So have a great day, take care, and goodbye.